guys, and welcome. So what we're going to do today is we are going to look into dating while Black. We're going to listen to some Black women talk about their challenges as well as the perceived challenges that Black men face when dating Black women. And because we are a Black couple, despite what some of you say, we are going to put our 2 cents in. So let's start.
Men and dating in general, I think about their preferences, and sometimes I don't feel like they're always checking for us.
Hello.
So I think specifically of a well-known celebrity who has been highly publicized for beating Black women, but when I think about what his recent comments were about the hair of Black women and who he would date based on her hair texture, it infuriated me thinking that, well, that one, who is a role model for a lot of Black men, is not checking for us. He's making it seem like there's something wrong with having the one B.
But do you realize you said that one? That could be for any
but
race.
that's not just
it's
him.
That one.
It's not
but
just
it's not
him.
just him. Within the industry, they are fetishizing mixed women.
They do.
For
sure.
They do.
But
Well,
not
for
all.
excuse me, for yes, for, well, but just if you have any sort of exotic, and that's the problem.
You're
That's
right.
what you're talking about.
You're absolutely right.
I'm gonna go all the way back there.
I grew up in a family that I was too dark. Okay? I was too dark, but then at the same time, my grandfather was a white man. But as I grew up, Black men weren't interested in me. White men were attracted to me, okay? But my attraction was always a Black man. That's what I want in my life, okay? The Black men, they're there for us. There's an understanding. I don't have to try. I can just be.
I don't know about the whole Black men fetishizing light skin or, certain hair textures. I mean, I've heard guys say that they prefer to date women that look a certain way, but I don't know if that's all. And the way a lot of these Black women talk, they talk about it as if it's the majority or like pretty much all Black men only date specific types of women. And I just don't see that as true because there wouldn't be so many Black people in this audience if that was the case. I mean, none of them looked racially ambiguous if you ask me. They all looked like they were Black, probably made from 2 Black people. So, with that being said, the last woman who talked, the older lady, I just want to state really quick that she looked like a female version of Kevin Samuels, number 1. And 2, did you hear the last statement? And I don't know if she meant to use this wording, but, and I quote, "We don't have to try with Black men. We can just be." And I don't know what she means by that, but it doesn't sound good. What do you think?
Actually, I took it the opposite. I mean, with her saying she don't have to try with Black men, she can just be. I took it as she don't have to try to be somebody she's not. She can just be herself. Because let's be honest, it's more of a cultural thing. It's like somebody who grew up in, let's say somebody who grew up in a suburban neighborhood would probably identify more with somebody who grew up in a suburban neighborhood. Somebody who grew up in a rough neighborhood would identify with somebody who grew up in a rough neighborhood. So you would have more of an understanding in that sense when we talk about color. Somebody who deals with the issues of Black people will understand a fellow Black person. That's that simple. So I took it as that. I didn't take it as her saying she don't have to try, meaning
to impress
right.
or anything. Okay, because I didn't know what she meant by that. I just wanted to get your opinion on that too. Maybe your opinion. I'm hoping that your opinion is right because it didn't sound too good. Like, oh, we don't have to try with Black men.
No,
but
I wish I knew who this celebrity was that they was referring to at the beginning.
I don't know. It could be Chris Brown. He's noted to date women that were racially ambiguous. What about the fact that the darker skinned woman with the long hair, she kind of jumped right on it. She's like, yep, that's it right there. They fetishize mixed women and da 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 da. What do you think about that?
Okay. As a light-skinned guy, yes, my wife is biracial. But I'll be honest, from my point of view, that's a load of bull. The reason why it's a load of bull is because as long as you look good, any guy is going to approach you. Now, I'm not somebody who's stuck on complexion or whatnot. Me, believe it or not, my personal experience in the whole dating market is I approached a lot of women. Some would give me the time of day, some wouldn't. But I've noticed that a lot of the ones that I approached, they were darker complexion. They were darker than me, and I had no problem. I was, you approach those who strike your interest. The problem I had is that a lot of the ones that I approached, they didn't want me. So when I hear women talk about guys, black men's dating preference, are those the black men that caught your eye, or are those all black men? Because if you're referring to the ones that caught your eye, then that falls on you, because I'm pretty sure it's a lot of black men who are, let's be honest, most people, they start, what should I say, trying to find somebody in their home and then move out. You find somebody who kind of understands you and your cultural ways best, and then if you don't find nobody there, then you start looking outside there.
I didn't purposefully date you because you were light skinned. I don't believe that's a thing. I don't look for dark skinned men or light skinned men. It's just, am I attracted to you or not? Like, are you physically attractive to me? And, you know, I look at things like height, body, facial structure, teeth. Those are the things that I look at as attractive. So it doesn't really matter like the color. I'm not shallow. Those are the first things I look at as far as physical attractiveness. Now, in order for me to be more than just physically attracted to you, that's when the personality traits come in.
Bank account.
Okay, and yes, of course, I'm a woman, so I look for stability, and financial stability is important, especially for a mother, you know, so yeah, I'm not trying to date somebody that I gotta take care of, you know what I'm saying? So that goes without saying, you know?
I'm just kidding. Let's be honest. Most attraction, in my opinion, starts from a shallow point of view. I mean, us guys will look at a chick, we'll be like, oh man, she got a nice butt, or she got a pretty face, and we'll start from there. I think, I can't speak for every black man, but I think a lot of us will say the same thing. It's just whether you look good and whether you have a personality I could get down with.
And I think sometimes like people end up dating outside their race because of the issues that the black community faces. Like, not all black women are coming off, you know, like the older black lady who felt, you know, like she wants a black man, she's comfortable with a black man. She looks for peace in a black relationship. Whereas some, you know, you got a lot of black women, you know, claiming to be divestors and looking to date outside their race. Just like you have black men, you know, going overseas and stuff because they feel like they can find peace of mind with somebody that's not black.
Let's be honest. It's not every black man is gonna act like a Pookie and Ray Ray. You're gonna have some that's gonna be a Urkel. Heck, I might even fall somewhere between a Urkel and that. You're gonna have some. Hey, you can ask my wife. I played a Dungeons and Dragons game. I actually got her kind of into it. So yes, you have those nerdy black people. Not everybody is going to try to be a thug. Now, whether it's up to you to whether you decide whether you want to spend time and open up that book to see what else they have, you know, in store. But the fact is, a lot of people go by what's on the outside and don't bother to look deeper into that, and that's where they mess up. And then, from my personal opinion, it was a lot of girls that I, even though I was really attracted to, when I when I investigated their personality, vetted them a little bit, you could say, I found out I can vibe with them, because it's like, me personally, it's how you carry yourself. I don't want to be with somebody who I feel is going to be more of a liability than an asset to my life.
Now, so we've went over the black women and their challenges dating black men. Now let's go ahead and hear what some black men had to say.
My problem with it is that I feel like Michael B. Jordan's fan base has been built on the backs of black women. And now he's afraid that he's going to lose his audience. So now he's clamoring and he's all these milk analogies, and it's really strange. But we see this so often in Hollywood.
Yeah, and we're seeing right through it, because all of those types of explanations, they just read as superficial and inauthentic. So it's like, just own it, brother.
Africa Miranda's point about, she's not going to live her life kind of identifying, a black man is dating a white woman. Oh my God, travesty, right? Agreed, but I think that a lot of the black women that I know, a lot of my black female friends who are single, are faced with an issue of what's out there, what's in their purview as being true prime opportunities with black men. And so, in the instance that you see a black man that you could have dating a white woman, it's kind of like, oh, that brother would have been good for me, and he went with a white girl? Oh, and so it really does feel like sabotage. It kind of feels like you just straight up just took an opportunity away from me, and I think that is an issue that we need to address.
I think the point about Michael B. Jordan was really interesting too, about him building his reputation and his fame on the backs of black women, and I think it is a very precarious predicament for him to be in, only because it's like, now he feels obliged to have to make an excuse. He can't just say, I enjoy dating white women. I think the interesting thing about preference is that it doesn't really affect anyone except for the individual. I understand historically that a lot of, what is seen as the black plight is the loss of the black family. But when does that become every individual's responsibility to say, okay, I have to put what I may innately prefer aside to fulfill this larger purpose?
Okay, they're taking this way too far. Did you hear that? Like, in other words, black men should date and marry black women and ignore their preferences just simply because there's a larger agenda to make black families. But the thing is, if you're not feeling appreciated or you're just not attracted to what, you technically came from, who can blame you for that? Like, that just sounds so restrictive. I don't know.
Me personally, I feel most guys, I'll say guys because I know it's some women that they like, regardless of whatever happens, I will not deviate from what I want. But most guys, we go for what we want and then what we can get. But here's the thing, they're saying that he made his career off of the backs of black women. I mean, let's just be honest. Why is it that anybody else, y'all will say y'all made your career? I mean, they made their career off of their talent. I mean, I didn't look at him like, oh man, he's a black guy, I gotta support him. It could have been anybody. As long as they played the part good, I was there. But here it's like they were like, oh, he made money off of us black women and now he's going. It's like, no, why don't y'all support the actor due to his acting skills and not due to what
looks like?
Yes, what he looks like and the color of his skin. I just feel that it's like if it was any other actor, y'all probably wouldn't say anything. If it was a Caucasian actor, you wouldn't say anything.
Right. No one ever hears like no white women ever come out and say Robert De Niro, built his career off of the backs of white women and he's dating black women. Like, you never hear that. Why do black people feel like they own you just because you're black? You wouldn't hear them saying who's a black actress who married a Caucasian guy. I can't think of anybody, but let's just say if it was Angela Bassett, or is that her name, Angela Bassett? Didn't Halle Berry at one point date or marry a white man? Halle Berry, perfect. You don't hear black guys going, oh, she made her career off of black males, and she didn't. It's like, no, just... Well, she technically didn't, though. She made her career off of her beauty and talent. But they need to allow him to have the same thing because he's making it off of his looks and his talent. Exactly. I feel like black women, specifically, not black men, I feel like black women feel they own the rights to black men. And that's why they get mad, they get jealous of even biracial women, not even just white women. Sometimes you got dark-skinned women that get mad if a guy dates a lighter-skinned woman, period. If he doesn't choose a woman that's as black as my shoe, they get mad. Same corny people that y'all look right past, as far as in the black community, when they make something of themselves, when they get some fame or some fortune, those are the same people that you get jealous of when they don't give you the time of day. I don't care if you're black, white, whatever. It's like I'm gonna watch what I feel like. But the real question is, with this particular video, why does it almost feel like these black guys are kind of pandering? Like, oh, we need to address that. The way these women are feeling about the fact that Jordan, if he likes white women, he likes white women. If people didn't get together in interracial relationships, people like me wouldn't have life. So I personally don't see anything wrong with it. You like who you like, you're attracted to who you're attracted to. By the way, I'm not biracial, I'm just high yellow. Well, I am biracial, and I approve of interracial dating, okay? But you know what? These guys, I'll be honest, I don't know how they are because it all depends on where they was raised, but some of them seem pretty suspect. The guy with the scarf, and then, don't get me wrong, I've been told I talk proper a lot too, but they I don't know, so that's maybe why they got these guys, who knows? Right.
And so I think it's something to be said about, just the pressures of what is expected of the black man and what he's supposed to do, and how he's treated if he was to come out and say, yeah, I prefer to date white women. There's a lot of backlash for that.
And so I want us to finish a thought, if we may. So. Yeah. When black men listen to black women on the topic of interracial dating,
I feel that their specific perspective and the life events that they have lived through grant them the right to their opinion. I think it's very different from what I've lived through and what I've seen and my whole perception of the situation, but it's equally valued, and I think there's some merit to it.
When black men listen to black women on the topic of interracial dating,
they often get defensive and feel guilty. Yeah. To be totally honest with you, I think when a black woman presents and says, when black men date white women, I don't get it. I don't understand. You're not valuing yourself and who you come from. And if you've dated a white woman, you sit down there and say, dang, is that true? No. You start to think and calculate, and and see if that's the case, and then you come up with a response. It's unfortunate that that is the case, but the fact of the matter is that when we hear our sisters give their opinions on it, sometimes we can become enlightened, but oftentimes we become defensive.
What can we do, both men and women, to start to address this, right? What can women do to feel less bothered by these trends? And what can men do, black men, to try to listen to black women a little bit more and hold space for them?
I think the key to any problem, the first step is dialogue. There needs to be that conversation. There can't be these feelings of disdain and anger and hurt, and you just keep it bottled inside. I don't think that's the solution in any situation. I think it's best that we have these conversations with each other. We put our prides aside. We try to remove the emotionality from it, and we hear what people are thinking. And furthermore, I think if you speak to a black man as a black woman and you say, why do you date white women? And he says, this is all I want to date, then you probably saved yourself and dodged a bullet. You wouldn't want someone who could be so ignorant to think that you could just make a determination on who you love on race. So stay yourself.
Yeah, sure. Agreed. I think that black women, when you do get that kind of response from a black man, I only date white women or women that are not black, I think you definitely have saved yourself. I think you exit the conversation, especially if you're not interested in that man. But even if you are, you kind of just move on and don't take on the idea that that man's word is the word for all black men. That's it. And particularly if a black man is dating a white woman, please don't misappropriate that for only wanting white women, right? I think there are tons of black men that want to date black women, and that's just a fact. The last piece I would say is date men outside of your race too. I mean, I'm not saying to do it as a tit for tat, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm not saying only date outside your race, but I think you have an opportunity to go out there and explore and see what you like and see that there's not really that much of a difference oftentimes when you're in the dating world. Maybe culturally there might be a little bit, but you might learn something by dating somebody else.
Totally, cast a wide net. But my advice goes to men. I'd say men need to take more ownership for their reasons, right? And like you said, if that's your preference, that's fine. But I wouldn't deflect it by saying that the black woman is less than, right? And then we have the laundry list of things that we can point to. So I would say for men, we need to take more ownership of our preference if that's the case.
Well, I thought that was a pretty intelligent conversation, especially there towards the end. I think they gave some pretty good advice about, black men taking ownership. Like, if you like it, be real about it. And then, black women, don't take offense to it. It doesn't mean that they're not attracted to you or they don't find you just as beautiful. That's just who they're dating. And then, also date outside your race. You might actually find your husband.
I think it's time and place. I was telling a coworker of mine because she hadn't found anybody who she could vibe with, and I was like, what do you do? It's like she just goes, she picks up her kid. She only has one kid, teenager. She picks up her kid and she goes home. So I'm like, so all you're doing is working home. So if that's all you're doing, you really won't find anybody. So in certain cases, you tend to gravitate to who you're around. Basically, if you're around and interacting with somebody on a regular, then you'll start to, let's be honest. I mean, online dating kind of screwed up everything. And now a lot of people, how many people really succeed on getting that number the first time they meet? Whether it's going to the gym or whether it's biking or whatever other hobbies people have. So it's about who's around. So I'm not gonna say it.
That's so real, because literally my entire dating life has either been people that I work with or people that I met through the gym. Point blank period. Relationships are about give and take. Don't just be a taker. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have like a good quality man, you want to make sure that he's not feeling used.
That's basically how you test them out too. Because if they ain't willing to cough up anything ever, leave them. Retrieve, hit, and dismiss. I'll be telling that to this little one too.
No, he's gonna find himself a nice wife.
Wear a condom and run through them.
No, he's gonna be a gentleman. He's gonna be a chivalrous gentleman. Whatever, Mike. Let me go put this baby down. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to tell us what you think. And my email, of course, is in the description. It'll also be posted right here. Leave us your thoughts, and we will see you next time.